All right, I think we're good. Excellent. All right, well, we will go ahead and get started then. Some people can hop on and join us as we get started. But good morning, everybody, and welcome to another City Updates live broadcast. I'm Jamie Chavez, your host with the Westminster Chamber of Commerce, and we're thrilled to have you with us today. As always, we're here to bring you the latest insights straight from City Hall, featuring conversations with our councilor, our mayor, and our mayor pro tem, and other city leaders. And it is your backstage pass to what's happening in Westminster, so welcome. If this is your first time joining us, thanks for being here. A big welcome to you. For Facebook viewers, we encourage you to like our Facebook page and follow so that you will receive notifications for when we go live in the future. And if you're on YouTube, you can hit subscribe and explore previous broadcasts there as well. On Mondays, the broadcasts are all about city updates, and on Wednesdays, we offer a chance to meet some of the newest members of the chamber and learn about their businesses. So I encourage you to join us for those as well. This Wednesday, we will be live with Heroes Puppy for Life, which is a really cool nonprofit here in Westminster that does dog training for vets and other folks. So hope that you can join us for that one. And then we also reserve one Friday of the month for county updates featuring Jefferson County Commissioner Rachel Zenzinger. So stay tuned for those as well for broader county matters. As you watch the broadcast this morning, please feel free to ask any questions, drop any comments, or just say hello in the comments section, and we will get to those during the interview. And now finally, a very warm welcome to Mayor Nancy McNally. How are you today?
Excellent. And you?
Good, doing great. Have some people joining us. Thanks for joining us, Dave. And thanks for joining us, Eric. All right. Well, how was your weekend? How have things been?
Crazy busy. Last week, we had State of the City, and it was just one of those weeks that I had to be on point because it was things that were important. We needed to get messages across. And so, honestly, when Saturday came, I was exhausted.
I'm sure.
So
yeah.
I did have a couple of days of just doing my thing in my sewing room, which makes me happy. I'm making sugar Easter eggs where you hollow them out and then you put a seam in and then you put the top and the bottom together so you can peek through and see the Easter scene. And so I'm making 39 total, and the smaller ones I finished yesterday. So onto the big ones as soon as I get finished with you and get those out of my hair, because there's 3 pans fulls of eggs laying around that need to get to people, not laying in my kitchen. So, so it was a good weekend. And last week testified on a bill that concerns me because it's about people when they have to go to court for stealing, and people that testified, well, they just need a coat, they just need this, they just need that, and so they shouldn't be punished so harshly. And for me, it's, do we have laws or don't we have laws? I mean, COVID proved, whether it's the speed limit or whatever, everybody thought, oh, it's just a free world now. We can do whatever we choose to do, whether it's speeding or whatnot. So, and after I testified on that, after the Westminster Public Schools Foundation fundraiser on Friday that I saw you at, after I left there, the store manager from our Walmart over at 96th and Sheridan had asked me to stop by. They're getting ready to do a $10 million remodel in their store. He wanted to show me how the layout was. I was only concerned when I come in and go looking for the craft section where that's going to be. And he told me a horrifying story that they almost took that whole thing out because they make decisions based on how things are. And with Joann's going bankrupt across the street, I don't know when a decision was made to save their crafting area, but it's going to be in a different area. So now for all crafters that go in after the remodel, we go in straight back, but a little bit more to the left. So it's there. We just have to find it. And so all of their changes are going to be wonderful. But we did get into, I asked him, what's your rate of loss? And just for his store, it's $1.8 million. And then he shared with me how much he gives to the community, to Salvation Army, and the blankets and the coats and anything that people might need, sleeping bags, to be safe. And so that's what people have to understand. Our stores are helping. And he's the kind of person that I think if you went up to him and said whatever your situation was and you needed a coat, he'd take you straight there and help you pick one out. So our retailers are giving, and they're giving to Precious Child, they're giving to Salvation Army, they're giving to the community groups that are there to help serve. So people, I don't know if it's, this morning I woke up thinking, so how can we say to people you don't know? So maybe it's putting on the doors. I don't know where all the places are that you can get help. Tri-City Baptist this last week, they have their food bank. They ran out of food Tuesday, and they were over 2,500 household participants. When they first started, it was in the 200s to 300s. Then COVID came, they got over 1,000. When inflation and everything has happened the last couple of years, they have been going over 2,000 and not going down. And last Tuesday, it was the highest ever, over 2,500. So our community is stepping up and they are helping. So that's my bandwagon for the day. I just, and he said, and so I don't know, I will talk with our city manager tonight. And since I have you today, I don't know if it's a joint effort with the chamber and the city to get, he suggested, could we get the retailers together and have a conversation? I could go on a long, lengthy thing of what they're going to do to stop that loss that they're having. And people are going to be, why are they doing this? And it's more awkward to get this off the shelf, or I have to ask for help, or whatever it's going to be. They're trying to save $2 million that that we're paying for, that's walking out the door. I know when my husband worked at Home Depot, 3 million was going out the doors. So folks, it's affecting us one way or the other. And there are places for people to get these help. And I can show you, these people that own and run these establishments that are giving where it needs to go. So that was a great conversation. So I thought of you. I sent a quick email to Jody, and I don't know what the right answer is, but I think he's right. Getting retailers together, what are you doing? And learning from each other and helping, and maybe having the police force as part of that conversation too, because they're obviously the ones at the end that have to arrest. And I know it's around policies because they don't want their people hurt. So they may have a policy that says, yes, we see them walking out the door, but we don't want anybody hurt because you don't know if they're carrying knives, guns, whatever, and they don't want their employees hurt. So it's a vicious circle that still needs conversation.
Yeah. Dave has a comment. For whatever reason, it's not posting, but it says that they make you show your receipt now at Walmart. So that's one of the tactics I think that they're using to try and help prevent loss. They've done that at Costco for probably forever. So yeah.
But it's like my a friend told me at King Supers that now they have kids going in taking whatever. And if they're stopped, they just say, Mom and Dad said I could come in and get it. And they walk out the door. So I know our Kings now has an officer there, but I don't know to what extent actual arrests are made or whatnot. All good things to have conversations about so that these folks, we see businesses leaving all over the state and nation because of different reasons, but that kind of loss is huge. And I don't know about everybody else's businesses, but for me, if I even had a fraction of that, and of course I have a home business, so I don't have any loss because people come and get what they are buying and leave. But these folks that are open and have free access there to stuff that people shop, and people take advantage of that, it's costing all of us. So anyway, that was good conversation that I didn't expect to have this past week, but I always find those great. He felt bad for calling and asking, but I can't walk in his shoes if I don't hear their stories,
Yeah.
and I can't take it to you or Jody or whomever. So
Yeah.
that was last week, but also for this week, I want your listeners to know we've got a critical bill. You know that in downtown Westminster, we have the first condos that are going to be built in decades. I mean, it's been a long time. And when we talk about we'd like our kids out of our basements and be able to buy something themselves, and all people to be able to start getting some equity, a condo's a great place, and it's not throwing money away at rent. It's helping them to have something they own. So we have our state representative, Shannon Bird, who has been working tirelessly, not just this year, but for several years. She spent all last week not having lunch. She had her doors open from noon, I think, till 1:30 for anybody in that continuum to come and talk to her. And people need to understand there's two bills. One's a very bad bill. It's 1261. That is the bad bill. 1272 is Representative Byrd's bill, and that is a great one, and she is continuing to work on it and hone it in and work with all of the players, and we need to support that. And if you've never reached out to a representative, now's the time. This is critical for people can yell, we need housing, we need affordable housing, we need all of this stuff. Well, if you don't have condos, I can show you other places that have 9,000 permits sitting there, and the developers aren't grabbing them because it's so expensive to put up homes and the bigger things right now. So we've got to have the choice of condos. So 1272, contact your representative Bird and tell her you're with her. What can you do to help her? And tell the neighbors, because your voice does count. It's not just the 7 counselors. She has more traction with all of your voices. So please help her out and get that out there.
Yes, I agree. Awesome.
Tonight's agenda.
Yes.
We have rental housing inspection program. Jody's just going to go over that with us. It's in our packet, so you can read it for yourself. And then I encourage everybody to go read the Continuum of Passion. That is with our navigators and dealing with unhoused folks, and what the navigators do, what police department does. And so there's some options and in there is some good information of what is being spent. You need to know where your tax dollars are going. On that, we added, the majority of council added another $1 million for that effort. And so there's not conflict, there's confusion. There's confusion with what can a business owner do versus, if it's on open space or if it's on city land, all of that kind of thing. So we're going to talk about that tonight, because I have said a couple of times, we haven't had the hard conversation. When people are asked, do you want help? And they say they do, and they need housing, they need mental health help, they need help, they want to get help with their addictions, whatever it might be. That's one track we take them down. If they say no to that, we really don't have anything in place.
Right.
And so the real question is, do we just continue putting them up in motel rooms? What do we do? Because, like I said, we added another million to that, your budget, the city's budget this year. And I will share my opinions at the meeting tonight, but I do think I'm glad we're looking at it. I don't know where it's going to go, but there are going to be some other options out there for us. So that will be tonight. We have the police department budget presentation. And last week we were supposed to have the finance, but our finance director was under the weather and none of us felt like getting sick. And so he was very gracious and said, I won't present last week, and he's presenting tonight. So that's what's happening tonight.
Okay, excellent.
Any other questions coming in?
Nope, not right now. But if you want, we could jump back to the state of the city, which was last week, and you and City Manager Jody Andrews did a keynote, and I've just gotten a lot of feedback and compliments on that. I told you over the weekend when I saw you, but people were just very, I think, moved by your presentation. So thank you for that. And I don't know if you want to chat a little bit more about that today at all.
Oh, he'll hit my high note again today.
Well, there's probably people that will watch this that weren't at the state of the city. So I figure it's another good opportunity.
You know, a couple weeks ago, if you listen to city council post meetings, Andrew Spurgeon came to us and our community development people. We had just had our strategic planning meeting that Saturday before. And they've been, the staff has been working on what came down from bills that were passed last year around parking, around housing, two of them around housing, and two of them contradict one another in some places, so it makes it very confusing. But looking at what they could look at, they came and very boldly, they took a risk at just coming and telling us, we need to tell you, if we follow these 3 laws that we're being told what to do, how to do it, and timelines for doing it, and a formula was in to tell us what we needed, that's all they would get done for this coming year. And sort of the what, as I'm thinking, but we just met for 8 hours on Saturday and worked so hard putting a strategic plan together. What do you mean? When, you know, so here's the parts you need to know that you're really not told. When the state put some formulas together, and in 2004, when Fast Tracks was passed, we took that very seriously. We knew that would be our transit-oriented development areas. We had 3 stations at that time. The one that is open down at the Westy station at 71st and Irving Hooker area, and then the downtown area and the promenade area. We took that to heart, and I took a reporter last week for 2 hours on a tour and showed him what is in place today and what's coming in those 3 areas. And all he said was, well, but people, you know, coming in, they might like high rises and density and this and that and the other thing. And I had told him we have 2% of our land left. That's it. And I showed him the 2 parcels that have any size to them that are left in the city and said, this is it. Unless there's a retail area that redevelops. And, you know, off the top of my head today, I don't know of one that would start tomorrow. So those 3 transit-oriented development areas were never included in the calculations they gave us of what we need. So I want people to hear loud and clear, and I will not scream on the computer so I break your ears, but I got pretty passionate on Tuesday because it's 109 comma 000 thousand more units they want us to build. And if and people will say, oh, well, you can say why you can't this, why you can't that. It's ridiculous. If there's anything that I heard when I campaigned in 21, we were number one in the country for the amount of apartment buildings that we were putting in. People did not like that. They don't want more. They don't want high density. Even when we did the uplands and we had the pre-meetings and they wanted to do 5,000. And we said, that's pretty dense and people aren't going to be happy. And some of the places they were going to put apartment buildings so that they could have different levels of income available. They wanted at least 5 stories, and we said you can't have more than 3. And so with 109,000 units or 50,000 more homes, it gets pretty dense. And we don't have the water. And then some people say, well, you can opt out or you can share. You can't do this because of the water. Here's the point. We waste lots of time and energy because we did 16 public hearings and I don't know how many council meetings over 2 years to get a comprehensive land use plan because the people that own that land have to be involved. Any developers that might want to do things are working with those landowners to see what is okay to build there. So it's complicated. We've got people up against those areas. And not everybody wants a gas station in the backyard or a high story apartment building. So to me, sort of like our Bible is that comprehensive land use plan because everybody's included in that. Everybody has a say in it. And it took a long time and 2 councils to get it passed. Yeah. And in that statement, it states we will not use 1 ounce more of water than we own. And so that's critical. That's critical for Westminster. And when this reporter asked me about something, I said, then they can move to Denver. Each city has its uniqueness. And if people do not like open space and trails, I said, then they don't want to live in Westminster because 1/3 of our land is for that. And let me tell you, I wake up nights worried. What if the state passes a law that, yep, you can't have that. That's crazy having that much open space. I mean, if they chip away and keep chipping away at our local control, that is the basis of what we can do and what we govern for the people for. And so, as I said that day, I will fight to my death on local control. There's no wiggle room. Lipstick on a pig is lipstick on a pig. It's so bad. And so, we did ask, what are the consequences if we don't follow parking, if we don't follow these 2 home laws, and if we have a state grant, we have the possibility of running up against not getting that. Well, the state's $1 billion down, and so what's the chance of them having state grants anyway until we can get some of this mess cleaned up? So do we have any real skin in the game at this point? I don't think so. I think we want our people who have been doing a fantastic job, are making plans, are working with the development community for the little land we have left and with what's in place. Let them do their job and not try to figure out what a third party wants to come in and tell every city to do.
Yeah, very well said. Well, like I mentioned, the people at the State of the City were just very impressed with you. So thank you again for that. They were drawn to the passion that you have for local government and, keeping power local. So I appreciate that. And Eric had posted this earlier. I think that was in response to that. So. All right. Well, is there anything coming up in the next few weeks or months that you're excited or want to tell us about?
We have a busy month coming up. So Tuesday night, tomorrow night, and I was out, as I said, reading for Dr. Seuss Day and coming home, and my phone kept bzz, bzz, and so at a stoplight I looked to see who was buzzing me, and it was alert for blizzard warning. I'm going, really?
Oh.
Anyway, so
yeah, I think we're
tomorrow night
back.
at Walnut Creek Golf Reserve from 5:30 to 7:30. Any of you that live in Countryside, you're going to be having talks about that Kensington Park and the totem poles, and this is their second forum, so it's their second focus group. They want to hear from you. I heard the first one went well. I've got a conflict again tomorrow night, so not sure I can make it, but I really appreciate Eric Otzelberger that's working on all of this stuff and getting community engaged and hearing what they want for their park. And so that's tomorrow night. Wednesday, we have the CDBG plan that is being presented for Westminster at the MAC, which is at 72nd and Hooker. And it's at 6:00. The sad thing here is sometimes there's 1 to 5 people. And this is for several $100,000, and it's for some of the areas of our city that are in more need of different things. And so, and I did ask the question, why do we just have it way down in the southern portion of the city? Anyone's welcome. So if you don't know about CDBG, and that's Community Development Block Grants, please, if you're able, Wednesday night at the MAC, go at 6:00, listen, have input, but that will, they will take community input with whatever staff has a presentation for, and you'll have conversation around that. So very open to that. Thursday night at Crown Point on Federal, Uplands has their update from 5:30 to 6:30. If you have any wonders, I know that they were supposed to present to us last week a plan, one of their plots, and the signs were wrong. So we asked that to be tabled until the proper signage, and then it'll be on a later date agenda. So that is Thursday night. I just know that March 26th starts the Fire Academy. So I know I saw on my Facebook that they're still taking people. It is so good. I was in the first academy that they had. We've had police academy for longer, but when the fire department decided to do a citizens fire academy, there was just so much to learn. I'm thinking, well, what will you learn? But at the time I was on council, and I always felt that for both police and fire, how else do I get in the shoes of a firefighter or police officer if I don't go to these citizen academies and learn? And I learned a lot. And the day that it was my ride along for the police department, we had DOA. The person had already been deceased, but they weren't sure. So police and fire came to that one. And then we had a call, and they came back. They told me, well, go ahead and sit in the truck. We'll go in and see what's up. And they came back and said, we should have sent you because we just needed a compassionate grandma to help a young mother who thought her baby was sick with, and it was probably just colic or something. But they always say, call us, don't hesitate. We'd rather have that kind of a call instead of the after the fact that something really was bad and you never called us to help out. So that's always their thing. And later that day, right around the time where I was going to get some of their good dinner, because they have some great chefs there. Jesse was making, oh, what is the name of it? It's a wonderful Mexican food, and it's made with, oh, mole. He was making chicken mole, and I never got to taste it. But we were called out to a hazmat, and just watching that unfold, my time was up, but just they work with the other departments in the area. They have a team that come in. Everybody knows what they're doing. It is just like, it's like a well-run circus of everybody knows what they're doing. They're setting up, they're getting ready. The safety that was put into place, it was just, I can't say enough about it. So sign up and go and learn. For I don't know what day of the week they're doing it, but I know it's wonderful. So sign up. It starts March 26th. So whatever day that is the day that they'll be having it through the season. And then they have a graduation. And then you're, if you feel like it and want to learn more and help more, we have a CFIRE alumni group, and we have a lot of fun on that. So then April 3rd is huge. Please tell your neighbors, please tell your coworkers, please tell, if you own a business, tell all of the people that live in Westminster about this. We need your ears. We need your ideas. We're having a budget town hall April 3rd at City Park from 6 to 8, and it'll be in the big community room. They call it the Longs Peak room. But police and fire will share again, especially fire. We had a big budget piece that did not pass last year on the ballot. And so we're going to get that down into some chunks, and we need an input. And I think where there's people out there that maybe have heard of some of the plan and may have some great ideas we haven't thought about. It's real. I mean, everybody sees things differently. Even my knit and crochet group has sent on some ideas from their thinking. So we want everyone's thinking here. We have some major needs, and we need to figure out how to fix all of that. So we need your voices. So that takes you through April 3rd.
All right. Well, thank you for all of that. Anything else you want to share with us today? We're about out of time, but if you
oh my
have
gosh,
anything
you're
else,
already, how does this go so fast?
I know it really does. It really does.
I just wrote my things down and I'm going, this won't be enough. So I figured you were going to nail me with something, but I think that is absolutely everything on my list.
All right. Well, good. Excellent. Well, people know how to reach out to you if they do end up with some more questions. And if not, they could always reach out to me and I'll connect them. But thank you again for joining us. I always love having you on the broadcast, and we'll have you back again in a month or well, I guess more like 2 or 3 months. Yeah.
I didn't give you all an update. I am doing so well, and I am so grateful. Yeah. People still think I'm a little thin, but hey, I'm up to 120, and that's better than the 89 I was. So I don't feel like a skeleton anymore. But my next tests are on St. Patrick's Day. I will be in 2 tubes that day wearing green so I don't get pinched by them. But that will be the next time I have any knowledge of what's going on. But so far, the trial is going fantastic. I can't say enough about the doctors and nurses that have been helping me, and the other 285 people that are in the trial that I'm in. And I don't take 1 minute of feeling this good for granted anymore, because I know what that was like last year. So thanks to everybody. I have to give a shout out to Parker and to Tracy Kraft-Tharp and her husband Vern, and to the Los Arcos folks and John and Kendra. Those folks that I mentioned, almost, I feel like I must have what do they call them? When you chip a dog or cat, or I feel like they have GPS on me, because I'll get a call from Parker, is everything okay? Do you need anything? You need some food? The Tharps, what food can we send over? And John will call at a time that maybe I'm not feeling so strong and whatnot. And he's delivered food. And there was one day, because it's hard to say yes sometimes, and I've learned to say yes. And I was tired, and I just didn't think I didn't know what we're gonna have for dinner, but I just couldn't even think about it. And he called at that moment and said, "What can we bring you?" And he delivered it. And so to everybody, whether it's been a note or whatever, I'm grateful to everybody. So thanks.
Well, thank goodness for your health and for improvement. That's fantastic news. Everybody has said how great you look, and you do. You look very healthy and happy. So
Thanks.
yeah.
Everybody have a great week, and read Dr. Seuss to your kids this week.
That's right. All right. Well, thanks again. Bye, everybody.
See ya.